was President Trump doing for more than 3 hours as a violent mob of his own supporters stormed the Capitol, rampaged through the halls of Congress, and called for the execution of his own vice president? Less than an hour from now, the January 6th committee is set to lay it all out, minute by minute, in a primetime hearing. They're focusing on a time span of 187 minutes. The clock starts when President Trump wrapped up his rally on the Ellipse, urging a massive crowd of his supporters to march to the Capitol, some of them armed with weapons and bear spray. We expect to hear witness testimony about what Mr. Trump was doing inside the White House as the deadly riot unfolded only a short distance away. Lawmakers running for their lives, police officers savagely beaten and attacked. What was President Trump doing all of that time before he released a pre-recorded video message telling the mob, "Go home, we love you, you're very special"? The committee giving a sneak peek for tonight.
Was the president in that private dining room the whole time that the attack on the Capitol was going on? Or did he ever go, to, again, only to your knowledge, to the Oval Office, to the White House Situation Room, anywhere else?
So that's my recollection. He was always in the dining room.
Yeah, what did they say, Mr. Meadows or the president, at all, during that brief encounter that you were in the dining room? What do you recall?
I think everybody was watching the TV.
Do you know whether he was watching TV in the dining room when you talked to him on January 6th?
It's my understanding he was watching television.
When you were in the dining room in these discussions, was the violence of the Capitol visible on the screen on the television?
Yes. Right.
Well, the committee says it will detail Mr. Trump's indifference to the danger that lawmakers and his own VP were in. The committee has scheduled live testimony from 2 Trump White House staffers who resigned on January 6th. These 2, the Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Matthews and the Deputy National Security Advisor Matthew Pottinger. In his previous deposition, Pottinger testified that he reached a breaking point when President Trump tweeted this shortly after the first rioters had breached the Capitol. Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done.
I read that tweet and made a decision at that moment to resign. That's where I knew that I was leaving that day, once I read that tweet.
Tonight, according to the committee, we'll hear more about Trump White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. In previous hearings, the committee has revealed panicked text messages that Meadows received from Trump allies on January 6th, pleading with him to get the president to call off the mob. Mark Meadows dodged questions about just that earlier today when the reporters caught up with him near the Capitol.
Mr. Meadows, we've seen the behind-the-scenes footage. We've seen your texts in real time. Is there anything you want to say about those 187 minutes and that day?
Obviously, I'm not commenting on anything on January 6th.
Meadows has refused to testify before the committee itself. CNBC senior congressional correspondent Elan Moy begins our coverage tonight on Capitol Hill. Elan.
Well, Shep, tonight the committee wants to show how difficult it was for President Trump to denounce the riot in front of the nation and accept an orderly transition of power. It plans to show outtakes from Trump's 3-minute video address to America on January 7th. What the public heard that day was Trump blasting those who stormed the Capitol as defiling the seat of American government and promising that those who broke the law will pay. But according to the Washington Post, the committee has footage showing that Trump struggled to get out the words. He tried to call the rioters patriots and refused to say that the election was over. We are also expecting to hear more from Pat Cipolloni's taped deposition from earlier this month and what the former White House counsel thought about Trump's lack of action as the Capitol was breached. Now, tonight's hearing will be led by Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger and Democrat Elaine Luria, both veterans. Luria said her Navy uniform represents her oath to defend the Constitution from all enemies.
Through my entire career, there was a clearly identifiable foreign threat. I was deployed on ships, and we understood why we were there, but would have never thought in my entire lifetime that there would be such a threat from within.
This is the final hearing before Congress goes on summer recess. More could be scheduled once lawmakers return, and the committee uncovers more information. Those deleted Secret Service text messages are just one example. The Inspector General for the Department of Homeland Security is now conducting a criminal investigation into the matter and told the Secret Service to stop its internal probe. Yet the Washington Post reported that the IG, Joseph Kafari, knew in February that the texts had been deleted and did not alert Congress. Shep, the committee is worried these missing messages could be a violation of federal law.
Ilan, thanks very much.